Clifford, Wayne Deltrefino has a message for you, and that's sunshine. What are you so afraid of people finding out?
A rare chance to see Harris County elections boss Clifford Tatum out in public talking about what I like to now call the November nightmare. And no, I don't work for the apologists like Jen Rice at the Houston Chronicle. The town's remaining big newspaper doesn't seem to really care about the election truth anymore. Wonder why? Democrats have long relied on the Chronicle investigation in April to downplay ballot shortages, citing just 20 polls that ran out of paper. But an internal survey of precinct judges obtained by us shows 67 precinct judges said they had run out of paper at least once during the day, some for hours.
Clifford, can you explain why you're not talking directly to the voters of Harris County about what happened?
Lawyers hired by Harris County were in Travis County spending your tax dollars so they can help Clifford Tatum keep his job. And they won for a hot minute. Democrat Judge Karen Crump said Tatum should be in charge of our November election when we vote for mayor. God forbid. She declared after less than an hour of testimony that Tatum was a nonpartisan professional, a credible witness, well qualified. Hey, Judge, you should look at our investigative file. The Attorney General's office appealed to the Texas Supreme Court. So for now, Clifford will be out of a job in less than a month. The Harris County Republican Party says Tatum would have already been fired if Lena Hidalgo, Rodney Ellis, Adrian Garcia, and Leslie Briones had a, quote, shred of integrity. Their lawyer, Andy Taylor, declared Tatum, quote, totally botched the November 2022 general election.
There would be no election litigation if you ran the elections properly, fairly, and according to the law.
It's getting uglier by the day, so let's lighten the mood, shall we? Want to hear what Clifford Tatum said on the witness stand about last November's election? Yes, we encountered a few challenges in that election. Right away, I identified things I would have done differently, Clifford testified. A few challenges? Things I would have done differently? This guy's been botching elections for more than a decade. 15% of polls in November didn't open on time. 68 polling locations ran out of ballot paper. Dozens of precinct judges didn't even keep the polls open when a judge ordered an extra hour of voting. And now the hits keep coming. Deltrefino Consulting has now learned that voting machines, they weren't even tested to see if they all worked in the days before the big election. That's smart, Clifford. And we now have the actual logs detailing polling place troubleshooting, and they're frightening. A lot of those $55 million voting machines we recently bought didn't work at 230 polls.
Clifford, can we just ask you a few questions about why you let the ballot paper run out at those polling locations?
The Harris County attorney thinks complaining about the elections, well, it's all part of a big racist conspiracy.
One of the best known strategies is you immediately make black and brown politicians look corrupt, right?
We shouldn't have even included that nonsense in this report. We think Mr. Menefee should get back to work, spend his day coughing up all those election records he's been illegally hiding. Mattress Mac and I shouldn't be spending money on lawyers just to see clearly public records. No one should. Last month, the Urban Conservatives of America asked to join our legal fight.
We have reason to believe that our voices are being stifled by way of voter suppression.
Clifford, let me ask you a question. The Texas legislature effectively fired you after what happened last November. Why do you think you shouldn't be losing your job for what happened? Sorry, you're in my way. Can you tell me why you don't think you should be fired for what happened last November?
I mean, clearly the election was run poorly, and the metric we can use are the 253 other counties in Texas, none of which had anywhere near as many problems as Harris County did.
Rice University professor Mark Jones says the experiment with an appointed elections administrator in Harris County has been poisoned by hyper-partisanship. First, Isabel Longoria screwed up the primary last year. Clifford Tatum had a track record of screwing up elections too, but hey, we hired him anyway. Jones says it was a way for Democrats to, quote, shove it down the throats of Republicans.
I think the dilemma and problem here in Harris County, though, was it was done in a hyper-partisan fashion.
Meanwhile, in a Harris County courtroom this week, more than a dozen lawyers fought about election challenges, all to be decided by the same judge, David Peoples from San Antonio.
I absolutely think that they have changed the results of the election, and that the true results, based on the systematic widespread issues, have made those results unknowable.
The lawyer for Alex Mueller, the Republican who ran for county judge, says Clifford Tatum will be their first witness. That should be worth watching.
We found that there were 32,000 ballots that are seriously questionable and likely illegal that were counted. That's more than Alex Mueller's margin between Alex Mueller and Lena Hidalgo.
Attorney Chris Feldman's firm has made hundreds of thousands of dollars from you trying to help protect Rodney Ellis from his self-inflicted African art scandal. He told the judge that all these election complaints are just smoke. No one can prove exactly how many voters were turned away. And he's right about that. But that may not be the standard for Judge Peoples. If there were systematic violations of the election code, it may force new elections. Even Mr. Menifee knows that dozens of polls were given less ballot paper than the state required them to have. But hey, big deal.
We found that there were more violations of the Texas election code than in any other election that we're aware of in Texas history.
With so much evidence of his mishandling of the last election, it begs the real question we keep asking. Why the hell does Clifford Tatum still have a job?